My wife framed me for theft. The police arrived at my office at 10:17 on a Tuesday morning. I remember the exact time because I was staring at the clock when two uniformed officers stepped through the glass doors. At first, I assumed they were there to speak with someone from security. Then one of them looked directly at me and said my full name. Every conversation in the office stopped. "Sir, we need you to come with us." My hands went cold. They accused me of stealing nearly $80,000 from my employer. According to the police, company funds had been transferred into a secret account under my name. Confidential financial files had also been found on my home computer. I knew nothing about the account. I had never seen those files. But when I looked through the office windows and saw my wife, Vanessa, standing across the street, everything became even more confusing. She was watching me. She did not look frightened. She looked relieved. Vanessa and I had been married for 7 years. To our friends, we seemed happy. We had a comfortable house, stable careers, and plans to start a family. But during the previous 6 months, something had changed. She became secretive with her phone. She started coming home late and claimed she was helping a friend with a new business. Whenever I asked questions, she accused me of being controlling. I wanted to trust her, so I ignored the warning signs. That trust disappeared the moment I was placed in handcuffs. At the police station, a detective showed me bank records. The transfers had been approved using my employee login. The destination account carried my name, address, and identification number. Then he showed me photographs of documents found in a folder on my laptop. "It looks like someone planned this carefully," he said. "I didn't do it." "Then who did?" I almost said Vanessa's name, but I stopped myself. She was my wife. I still believed there had to be another explanation. The detective allowed me one phone call. I called Vanessa. She answered after the 5th ring. "The police arrested me," I said. "They think I stole money from the company." There was a long silence. Then she began crying. At least, it sounded like crying. "Oh my God," she whispered. "How could this happen? I need you to contact a lawyer." "I'll try." Try. That word terrified me more than the accusation. My older sister, Rachel, eventually found an attorney named Daniel Brooks. He arrived that evening and immediately advised me to stop answering questions. After reviewing the evidence, he looked grim. "The case against you is strong," he said. "Someone used your credentials, copied your signature, and created a financial trail designed to point directly at you. Can we prove I didn't do it?" "We can, but first we need to understand who had access to your personal information and devices." Only one person had access to everything. Vanessa. I returned home the next afternoon after Rachel posted my bail. Vanessa was sitting at the kitchen table with a suitcase beside her. She refused to meet my eyes. "What is that?" I asked. "I'm staying with my mother. My life is falling apart, and you're leaving? I can't handle this." "You don't believe me?" Vanessa finally looked at me. "I don't know what to believe." Her answer felt rehearsed. Then I noticed something missing from the living room. A framed photograph from our wedding had disappeared. Several of her personal items were gone too. She had packed before my arrest. That night, I searched the house. The police had taken my laptop, but Vanessa had left an old tablet inside a kitchen drawer. I charged it and discovered that her email account was still connected. Most messages were ordinary, but one email caught my attention. It had no subject and contained only an address, a time, and the words, "Bring the final documents. After tomorrow, we are free." The message had been sent by a man named Lucas Hale. I recognized the name immediately. Lucas was a financial consultant who had worked with my company several years earlier. He had been dismissed after being suspected of manipulating client accounts, although no charges were filed. Vanessa had once told me she barely knew him. Clearly, that was a lie. Daniel warned me not to confront either of them. Instead, he hired a private investigator named Maya Torres. Within days, Maya discovered that Vanessa and Lucas had been meeting secretly for almost a year. Security footage showed them entering hotels, restaurants, and a rented office together. The secret bank account was connected to a company Lucas had created using stolen personal information. The $80,000 had not been spent. It had been moved through several accounts and converted into cryptocurrency. The plan was becoming clear. Vanessa and Lucas intended to frame me, wait until I was convicted, then disappear with the money. But we still needed proof that connected Vanessa directly to the theft. Then Rachel remembered something important. 3 months earlier, Vanessa had asked to borrow Rachel's car for an afternoon. She claimed hers was being repaired. Rachel's vehicle had a dashboard camera that automatically uploaded recordings to cloud storage. We searched the old footage. At 4:42 that afternoon, Vanessa parked outside my office building. Lucas was sitting in the passenger seat. Their conversation was clearly recorded. "Once I copy his access card, I can enter after everyone leaves," Vanessa said. Lucas laughed. "And when the money disappears, every record will lead to him. What if he proves he was somewhere else? It won't matter. The login, account, files, and signature will be enough." Then Vanessa said the words that destroyed whatever love I still felt for her. "He always trusts me. That is his biggest weakness." We handed the footage to Daniel, who immediately contacted the detective assigned to my case. At first, the police were cautious. They needed more than a conversation. They needed evidence that Vanessa and Lucas had followed through with the plan. Maya suggested that we allow them to believe I was still helpless. Vanessa called me 2 days later. She sounded unusually calm. "I heard your lawyer is trying to blame me," she said. "I don't know what my lawyer is doing. You should accept responsibility. Maybe the judge will give you a lighter sentence." I gripped the phone tightly. "You want me to confess to something I didn't do? I'm trying to protect you." "No, Vanessa. You're trying to protect yourself." She hung up. The call confirmed that she was nervous, but we still needed the stolen money. Police obtained authorization to monitor Lucas's accounts. They discovered he was preparing to transfer the cryptocurrency to an overseas exchange. The authorities waited until he initiated the transaction. Then they arrested him. Vanessa was arrested at her mother's house several hours later. She tried to claim Lucas had manipulated her. She said she had believed they were exposing corruption inside my company. But investigators found copies of my identification, forged documents, and detailed notes in her luggage. They also recovered messages between them. In one conversation, Vanessa asked what would happen if I went to prison for 10 years. Lucas replied, "By then, we'll be living somewhere he can never find us." The charges against me were dismissed. But freedom did not feel the way I expected. My company issued a formal apology and offered me my job back. I refused. Too many people had watched me being taken away in handcuffs. Too many colleagues had assumed I was guilty before hearing my side. I sold the house and moved into a small apartment near Rachel. Vanessa eventually pleaded guilty to conspiracy, identity theft, fraud, and providing false evidence. Lucas received an even longer sentence because he had organized the financial transactions. Before sentencing, Vanessa asked to speak with me. Against Daniel's advice, I agreed. We sat across from each other in a small courthouse room. She wore a plain prison uniform and looked older than I remembered. "I'm sorry," she said. I said nothing. I never meant for it to go this far. You copied my identity, planted evidence, stole money, and watched the police arrest me. Tears filled her eyes. Lucas promised we could start over. You already had a life. You chose to destroy mine for a fantasy. She lowered her head. Did you ever love me? The question surprised me. I loved the person I thought you were. She began crying. This time, the tears seemed real. But they changed nothing. As I stood to leave, she whispered, "Can you forgive me?" I looked back at the woman I had trusted more than anyone in the world. Forgiveness doesn't mean letting you return to my life. Then I walked out. A year later, I started a small cybersecurity consulting company with Maya. We helped businesses protect employee accounts, detect internal fraud, and prevent identity theft. For the first time in years, I felt in control of my future. The betrayal changed me. I became more careful and less willing to ignore uncomfortable truths. But I refused to let Vanessa turn me into someone bitter. She had believed my trust was my greatest weakness. She was wrong. Trust was not the weakness. The weakness was ignoring the evidence because I was afraid of what the truth might cost me. Losing my marriage was painful. Losing my reputation nearly broke me. But discovering the truth saved me from spending years in prison for a crime committed by the person sleeping beside me. Vanessa tried to steal my freedom, my career, and my identity. In the end, she lost her own. And I finally learned that sometimes the person promising to stand beside you is secretly building the case against you.